The MiG-19PT is a rank 6 battle rating 9.7 fighter for the Russian tech tree, sitting right between the MiG-17 and the MiG-21 F-13. It was added with update 1.85 supersonic, alongside the first air-to-air missiles added to War Thunder. Along with the F-100D, it was among the first supersonic jets in-game. I remember it being a pretty big deal in the community when this update dropped. And considering how long prior the community had been speculating about supersonics and air-to-air missiles, it makes sense that there was hype when this update was implemented. In-game, the MiG-19PT has the ability to carry 2 R-3S air-to-air missiles and a small assortment of bombs and unguided rockets. Even though you have air-to-air missiles, the 2 NR-30 30mm cannons will be what gets you the most kills in-game. Simply because the early missiles like the R-3S are not that good, they do not have that much of a G overload, therefore only making them useful when the situation is perfect, or when an enemy is pulling away from you and you want them to turn. I personally find the MiG-19 to be quite challenging, yet very rewarding compared to many other aircraft at the same battle rating. And that is because of a couple of drawbacks this aircraft has. The first drawback being the fact that this thing compresses very hard around 900 km an hour and up, making it very difficult to maneuver the way you want to at high speeds. And honestly, I would be lying if I said I haven't compressed into the ground before. The second drawback, and the main problem I have with the MiG-19, is the lack of authority over the direction of the nose of the aircraft. It can be quite difficult to get your guns on target with this aircraft, simply because it doesn't respond all that well to your control inputs, making it feel clunky to aim. There have been so many times that I have missed out on easy kills just because of the clunkiness of this aircraft. Now for the positives of the MiG-19. It has excellent vertical energy retention, so fighting in the vertical will be your best friend. You can take on multiple enemies at once if you are careful. After the enemy's first or second pass, they will have already bled all of their speed and you will be in the advantage. At that point, as long as you can aim your guns, you'll do quite well. However, you still really need to pay attention to your surroundings outside of your immediate fight. Now, that can be said about just about any fighter in the game, but it remains especially true for the MiG-19, because if you are fighting vertically for extended periods of time, you will be spending a good amount of time at low to medium speeds, making you quite vulnerable to third-party attacks. Now, into the showcase match. This is what I like to do in this aircraft. I like to fly way up high at the beginning and decide on who I want to go after once enemies start to show up. I haven't really picked which one I want to go for just yet, just because I don't know what direction they will both be going by the time I get down there. Seemed like my teammates had the handle on the F-3H2, so I chose the F-100D. Now you'll see right here, like I said in the beginning, this thing compresses very hard at high speeds, and I'm going quite fast at Mach 1.2. So pitching up after that F-100D is not going to go as well as I would like it to. But that's okay, just because it was the first pass, and now I'm going to do what this plane is best at, and that is going right into the vertical. And now, in addition to the F-100D and the F-3H2, there are 2 A4Es that have shown up. I fire one of the R-3Ss at this F-100D, just on the off chance that it might hit, but honestly, I wasn't really expecting this to hit. Honestly, I don't really expect any of the R-3S shots to hit. The F-3H2 goes for me for a couple of seconds, then immediately pulls off, so I begin to go up and try and pursue. Now, there's an A4B behind me, but I'm not really too worried about it. He's a good ways away. I think he's shooting some shots at me, but at that range, it's very, very hard to aim. So I continue my pursuit of the F-3H2. I shoot off another one of my R-3Ss, once again, not expecting it to hit. They're kind of just dead weight a lot of the times anyway. I start trying to line up a shot, but completely overestimate the direction which he was going, and then overcompensate when I realize I've gone too far. The A4E behind me has lined up a missile shot, but I'm not too worried about it. That's a really easy dodge. I believe there's only AIM-9Bs on it. And now, back into the vertical fight where I am in the full advantage. At this stage in the fight, all I am hoping is that they continue to follow me through these loops. Which they do, which eventually will give me some easy shots on them. Right here, one of the A4s pitches down directly in front of my guns, which is going to provide me an easy kill without me having to do much of anything. Got his tail, he's going straight down, so he's going to go into the dirt. And now there are just 2 A4s in this fight and me, and then my teammates begin to join as well. So, as I pitch down here, they begin going after my friendly Su-7. I pitch back up to see if I can get some shots off on them before they kill my teammate, and I get a very satisfying shot on this A4. But unfortunately, they end up taking out my teammate. So, now that that fight's over, I pitch down and I'm going to go after this F-86 Sabre. Just trying to gain some speed back so I'm not in a vulnerable position. Friendly MiG-21 is also going to go after this Sabre. But I guess he didn't want to deal with either of us, so he just crashes into the ground. So now the next obvious target would be the F-100D. Now, at this point I've gained some considerable speed, and like I said a minute ago, when you have a lot of speed in this plane, you compress. You cannot turn very well, and you don't have much authority over your controls. I begin lining up a shot on this F-100D, and since he was going straight in front of me, I expected this to be a very easy kill. But a combination of me leading very poorly, him turning the other direction, and my plane compressing, I completely whiff all of these shots. He begins the left turn. I pursue for just a second, but of course this thing doesn't turn nearly as well as an F-100 at these speeds. But I pitch down, he ends up right in front of my guns, resulting in the shot that I should have got the first time. And that's my last kill of the match. I think there was 1 or 2 guys left, but my teammates ended up getting him. We win the match, and that's going to be that. So, to wrap things up, the MiG-19PT. It's a very challenging aircraft to fly for most players, but it is incredibly fun once you learn it. I'm honestly surprised that more people don't play it. It's quite good, especially in a down tier, and in up tiers it is still very competitive. Now, to summarize. It's got some characteristics that make it challenging, like the high speed compression, the difficulty of getting guns on target, and I didn't mention it till now, but the guns are kind of hard to aim as well, considering their low velocity. But when they hit, they work well. However, considering those negatives, it has fantastic vertical fighting capabilities, and if you keep it in the range of 700 to like 850 kilometers an hour, it has a quite tight turning circle, which a lot of the time in those vertical fights, that's kind of the range of speeds you will be at. Anyway, I hope you guys were able to learn something in this video. Show it to your War Thunder homies, or your non-War Thunder homies, I don't care. I'd love to hear your feedback on how I can improve these videos. I feel I'm slowly getting better at making them, but I'd love to hear some suggestions. Getting a new microphone soon, because this one is kind of doo-doo butt, so quality will improve shortly. And I'm going to leave you guys at that. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I'm out. Peace.